or a rake or whatever the tool was in his hand, as though he would now, with my permission, resume his labors. "What is your name?" I inquired, not believing it would jog my memory, but out of a natural politeness toward inferiors, who always feel flattered by such attention. "Dinkman," he muttered. "Adam Dinkman." That incredibly dilapidated front lawn, overrun with sickly devil grass and spotted with bald patches. Mrs. Dinkman's mean bargaining with a tired man who was doing no more than trying to make a living, and her later domineering harshness towards someone who was in no way responsible for the misfortune which overcame her. I wondered if she were still alive, or had lost her life in the grass while an indigent on public charity. It is indeed a small world, I thought, and how far we have both come since I humbled myself in order to put food in my stomach and keep a roof over my head. "Thank you, Dinkman," I said, turning away. A warm feeling for a fellow American caused me to call in my steward and bid him give Dinkman £100, a small fortune to an under-gardener, and let him go. Though he might not realize it immediately, I was doing him a tremendous favor, for an American with £100 in England was bound to do better for himself in some small business than he could hope to do as a mere servant. Looking back upon this too brief time of tranquillity and satisfaction, I cannot help but sigh for its passing. Preceded and followed by periods of turbulence and stress, it stands out in my life as an incredible moment, a soothing dream. Perhaps a faint defect, so small as to be almost unnoticed, was a feeling of solitariness, an inevitable concomitant of my position, but this was so slight that I could not even define it as loneliness, and like many another defect, it merely heightened the charm of the whole. I had wealth, power, the respect of the world. The unavoidable detachment from the mob was mitigated by simple pleasures. My estate was a constant delight. The quaint survivals of feudalism among the tenantry amused me, and though I could not bring myself to pretend an interest in the absurd affectation of fox hunting, I was well received by the county people, whose insularity and aloofness I found greatly exaggerated, perhaps by outsiders not as cosmopolitan as myself. Excursions to London and other cities where my presence was demanded or could be helpful afforded me a frequent change of scene, and visits by important people, as well as more intimate ones by Preblesham and the Tharios, prevented the Ivies, for so my place was called, from ever becoming dull to me. The General fell in love with a certain ale which was brewed on the premises, and declared, in spite of his lifelong rule to the contrary, that it could be mixed with Irish whiskey to make a drink so agreeable that no sane man would want a better. The girls, particularly Winifred, were enchanted with my private woods, the gardens, and the deer park. But mamma, throughout their visits, remained almost entirely silent and aloof, except for the rare remarks which seemed to burst from her as though by an inescapable inward compulsion. These were always insulting, and always directed at me, but I overlooked them, knowing her to be deranged. End of Chapter 5, Part C.